Cynics on Disney podcast contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised. This is the Cynics on Disney podcast, presented by NightClub33.com.
Welcome into this week's episode of the Cynics on Disney podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, a.k.a. the Disney Cynic.
And I'm Amanda, a.k.a. the Anti-Cynic.
And today, we are starting off our summer season, you guys. And I am just going to go ahead and say that this is, this is the summer of 69. Okay? And what I mean by that is that song by that damn Canadian, the flappy-headed one, I believe.
Bryan Adams.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Look, it's generally speaking not my type of music. Okay. But every now and then it just kind of catches me right. I don't know what it is. Like I've had it stuck in my head for a couple of days. I think it's because we are recording this today, Memorial Day, so that we can go ahead and knock some shit out for the rest of the week here. But I guess it's just because I'm in the spirit of it. I don't know. But sometimes you just kind of have to revisit a song that wasn't necessarily a banger, you know, back in the day, or you kind of hated it, kind of like how I occasionally feel about Backstreet Boy songs. You know, you got to revisit them every now and then and just see what's what. So I think that's what we're going to try to do here this summer. We're going to try to revisit some things that we've not really done in decades, maybe.
Yeah.
Certainly years, at the very least. And we're going to start off with just a strong contender for literally the worst attraction at any Disney theme park ever. At least for 2024 anyway. And we are starting off our summer of 69 by going to see the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, you guys.
I don't know why the children are excited.
I don't know what the hell they're cheering about. Not prepared for that. You kids need to simmer down. Is what you need to do. Look, let's just allow Amanda to give us the history on this, because I'm sure I'll pepper in some commentary. Let's see what's what. Amanda, give us the history on the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
All right. So Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse originally opened in Disneyland on November 18th, 1962. And it was obviously based off of the Swiss Family Robinson movie that came out in 1960.
I thought it was literally like the set, wasn't it?
No,
it was. They didn't even just like try to throw away their garbage at Disneyland. Instead, what they recreated this. That's
what it sounds like. Yeah.
Oh my God! What were they thinking?
The 1960 movie, and I'm going to do a little bit of background on the movie because, again, this movie came out in 1960. And I don't think I've ever seen it. So I'm pretty sure.
I've seen it a few times. I'll know what you're probably anyway.
So this movie starred the only name that I remotely recognized on the cast list was John Mills, and I only recognize that name because that's Haley Mills' dad. So he starred as Haley Mills.
Who?
She starred in a bunch of Disney movies, like the original Parent Trap and Pollyanna. Yeah.
Oh, Miss Bliss. Okay.
There you go, Miss Bliss. Her dad was the.
Let's be real. That's how our audience is going to know.
Her dad was the dad in the Swiss Family Robinson movie.
Well, for that, I'm sorry.
The movie, the Disney movie is actually the second feature film based on the novel, which was written in 1812 by German author Johann David Weiss. The first of these feature films.
Boy, does that roll off the tongue?
Yeah, let me tell you. This was, now, as far as Disney movies go, this one was the first Walt Disney Pictures film that was shot with Panavision lens instead of CinemaScope or another wide screen method. So there's that. It was actually a well-received movie too. It was released in theaters twice, and it's that I could find. And the lifetime domestic box office gross is $40 million. So,
okay, that's like a budget for a movie these days. It's not
right
even a budget. It's like,
but for a 1960 movie,
yeah, tells you how far things have really come. So
it was going to be remade in the early 2000s, but that never happened.
Can't imagine why.
Instead, do you remember the 2013 movie After Earth?
Vaguely. I thought that was like
it was
a
an
follow-up to Battlefield.
M. Night Shyamalan movie starring Will and Jaden Smith. That actually is based on elements of Swiss Family Robinson.
And on Scientology, but that's a whole different
All right,
so piss them off this time. So,
Bill Paxton actually wanted to do a remake of this movie.
Well, that's sad, especially since he's now passed, but okay. Yeah. Thanks for bumming me out, Amanda.
Sorry.
Game over, man. Game over.
Sorry. Anyway, continuing. So again, the original attraction opened at Disneyland in 1962. It was a C-ticket attraction at that point when it opened in Disneyland. So there we go.
I'm sorry. Time out. If you will. What the fuck was an A-ticket attraction?
I don't know. I need to look into that now because this was considered a C-ticket when it opened.
Okay. Not prepared for this. All right, continue.
For Disney World, this was an opening day attraction. So it has been there since day one at Disney World.
And it shows.
Yep. It has also... Now, apparently, they claimed that this was refurbished for the 50th anniversary. I say claimed because I saw no evidence of that.
The fuck? I'm sorry. No. There's no way that... If by refurbish, they mean somebody took, like, a broom and might have swept up a couple of leaves. Sure, we can maybe say that, but nah, come on, that wasn't refurbished.
Now the Disneyland version has gone through a couple of rethemes, most recently in 2023. When it went from Swiss Family Treehouse to Tarzan's Treehouse in June '99. Oh. And then in 2023 reverted to what is known as Adventureland Treehouse, which is just Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
I see.
But with a different name. So there we go. There's also versions of this attraction in Disneyland Paris and Tokyo Disneyland as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel like we spent more time talking about it than we spent on the attraction. The attraction? It's not really an inn.
It's a walkthrough, so I don't know what you call that. Like if you would say on or in.
Stupid.
I feel like in because we were in the treehouse. I don't know.
Okay, let's go ahead and break some of this down. I do recall the movie, and it was kind of like a mixture between MacGyver and Gilligan's Island, but with a serious tone, and they rode an ostrich at some point. That's really what I remember. It's also the first instance of cross-dressing in a Disney movie because there was a young lady who disguised herself as a young 12-year-old boy, and it turned out she was like an 18-year-old chick. And that's seems like kind of meat for the wolves on a deserted island, but whatever, it's fine. There was a swashbuckling element to this movie.
I did see that there was a pirate on the cast list.
Yeah. And I didn't just mean it in the sense of a pirate. I meant it in the sense of like adventure, like a Han Solo type or a Indiana Jones type. You don't have to be a pirate to be swashbuckling, I guess is what I'm getting at. And this was kind of filmed to evoke that. And it was an okay movie. This whole attraction obviously is just like a house tour, basically, and like a crappy one at that. Like we've been on like a couple of house tours here and there to, find a place to live and stuff like that. And substantially just underwhelmed by the Swiss family Robinson. Which by the way, that whole moniker is just like it's a mouthful. Like really? Do we need to like distinguish them from the Norwegian family Robinson, or like is there like, I mean, how many family Robinsons are there? They're like, I would assume that there was a lot in Switzerland at that point, but seems to be a fairly common last name is all I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know the commonality of this last name in other countries.
I am requesting that you Google it while I continue my
oh my God.
rant.
Okay.
Yes. So if you were a kid that was kind of like a Xennial, like a late Gen X, early millennial who still played outside, this would have been like the fucking like best when it came to a tree fort ever. It had multiple bedrooms, none of which had privacy, by the way. And they all lived in one giant tree. It feels like they should have spread themselves out a little bit more. Like just for protection's sake. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? There's this, that's an idiom. That's an idiom that's oft repeated. And yet they all lived in one giant tree. That feels like they didn't learn the lesson, is all I'm saying. But they also had children to monitor. And also, I'm going to go ahead and point out that the Swiss family Robinsons were all very short people. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was you would have to be to live in that tree house.
Like 4 feet at the most. Like we're talking like here on me, like maybe somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
not tall people. If I was to be forced to live in the tree house, be a tree house of horrors as far as I'm concerned. That would be awful. Those beds, I would have to curl up like a dog. In fact, I think a dog bed has more space than those beds do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Cooper has more space in his bed.
Well, judging by the bed that he's laying on behind you, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that shit's a twin mattress or something, or a full.
Yeah.
We got to do something about that. But anyway, let's move on from set decorations.
All right. To answer your question about the commonality. It is not, as of 2019, it is not in the top 10 most common last names. Okay. Although all of the top 10 common last names in Sweden do end in son. However,
would it not be Switzerland though?
You know what? You're right. I was looking at the wrong country.
Wow. This is a social studies teacher, everybody.
This is a social studies teacher on vacation.
Yes, congratulations to Amanda for finally making it through the summertime, you guys.
So actually, Robinson is thought to be an English surname.
Then what the hell are they doing with the Swiss?
Yeah. So
you know what? Forget it. Let's just.
So Sweden would be, but that brings me to this map that I found where it looks like the most like common place to find the last name Robinson might be Sweden.
Interesting. Okay, now we have an interesting thing here. With that in mind, then, and the fact that this whole family was a family of explorers on a boat. They didn't fly here. Switzerland is a landlocked country. How, in God's name, did they get assigned to a boat? A boat that could sail around the world.
I don't know. Like, I want to know why this man, this German no, he was Swiss, excuse me. He was Swiss.
Okay.
Why he was inspired by Robinson Crusoe.
That makes less sense. Okay. All right.
But wanted to write a story for his own children.
Okay. That doesn't do it for me. That's weird. Some of the things that you'll note about this house is that there once was a working water wheel and lots of water features that very clearly are off. And one of the things that I'm concerned about is Zika.
Oh my God. Look. Okay, so if you look on Disney's website, it even talks about how at the base of the tree, a large wooden wheel gathers water from a stream, and a series of ingenious contraptions carry it up to the rooms inside the treehouse.
This is where the MacGyver part comes in, by the way.
But that was not happening when we were there. Nope. In fact, what was happening was a lot of standing water. And You know what? We're hitting summertime here. Do you know what happens in the summer when there's standing water?
We all die. That's
mosquitoes.
What happens.
Mosquitoes happen.
Yeah, exactly. And they give us diseases and we all die.
Right. Zika, West Nile.
All the bad
ones. I don't want them.
No, me neither. Me neither. Disney, you got to turn the pumps on. Just saying. A couple of other things here that I'll notice. Like I said, there's a substantial lack of privacy for everyone on that island. No walls are
There's
complete.
No privacy.
None. They have various stories to this house that's held together by a bunch of wooden planks that I'm presuming that they got from the ship. I don't remember from the movie, but that's what I'm presuming. And it feels like if you're going to go through all the trouble of building a goddamn house on the middle of a deserted island out of a ship that sank and that you pulled out of the water and then took all the wood from, wouldn't it be just as easy to build another fucking boat?
One would think.
One would absolutely think.
Look,
right?
My big thing with this is that they put the wheel, the captain's wheel from the boat, in the treehouse, but why? That
did serve a function, if I recall correct. I think that is the one time that they did have some privacy, like they used it to like crank down the shades or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But you wouldn't be able to tell that from the attraction because God forbid you touch anything on there. Nothing is remarkable about this. The only thing that I would say is I get why some people think that white people don't wash their hands after going on all of this. Because there's no hand washing stations whatsoever. They just left their cutlery and their Tupperware or their plates and dishes and whatnot. They left them all out, like in the middle of the jungle. Like, does nobody care about a disease at this point? We just went through the damn pandemic. But stand to reason that somebody would put a hand sanitizer. Never mind. You know what?
I don't know.
They should be making grain alcohol on that island to help sanitize themselves. Is all I'm saying. And I didn't see it still anywhere. Did you?
I did not. No.
I have a lot of logical concerns with the Swiss Family Robinson.
I do want to note that this attraction is not ADA compliant.
No. In fact, it's not like able-bodied person compliant in some way.
According to Disney's website, in order to reach the top of the treehouse, you must be able to climb a total of 116 stairs.
That seems like a very like low number. It felt like a lot
That
more.
that felt like a lot more.
Felt
than
like, and they were
116.
steep steps too. Like
They
weren't like the
were.
gradual ones.
I got
It's almost like a ladder.
vertigo.
It's like a ladder. I like okay.
I was getting vertigo on those stairs.
Not the biggest fan of the steps. If you were to get through this as quickly as you could probably get done in like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Total. Like I've spent way too long on this attraction. In fact, let's just go ahead and wrap this sumbitch up. Amanda.
Uh-huh.
On a scale of 1 to 5 Swisses, how many family Robinsons are you giving this attraction?
1.
Okay. Well, that
the only redeeming quality for me was there are some really cool views once you get up towards the top, like of like the castle and all. But that's about it. Again, I've never seen the movie. So I don't have any connection. It's also like it's a walkthrough. And I'm pretty sure like there's, you know what got me though? Every time we go, we never see anybody walking through that attraction. The night that we go and decide to walk through, what happened?
We had people like
everybody. It almost seemed like everybody else decided, oh, let's go on this.
It's because they saw me, my giant ass, go through the gates on this and said, "Oh, there's something over there."
Yeah, that's another thing is it's hidden and there's no cast member standing out there.
No, if you slip and like twist your ankle, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're screwed because there's no cast member working that attraction.
Yeah.
Look, if they're gonna get rid of anything or retheme anything in this part, it needs to be this. This needs to go because it's outdated. I can see it for being an opening day attraction, but and I know that I'm probably gonna get some hate because I'm saying, oh, this is an opening day attraction that we need to get rid of.
You're gonna get some hate, please.
I'm saying because I'm saying, hey, opening day attraction needs to go. That's where I think the hate's gonna come in because how dare I have say that an opening day attraction needs to go? But this one does. This one has got to go.
I think it's understandable that this one is one that
I don't know. You'd be surprised.
Maybe not. Maybe you'd be surprised. I think
if I don't get hate, I will be very happy. But I'm bracing myself.
Well, to provide her with hate or compliments, make sure you comment down below if you are watching this on YouTube. Now, I am going to give this a -17. Sure. This is the biggest waste of time I have ever had at the theme parks. And I, as a local annual pass holder, I ostensibly have way more time to waste. And yet I felt like, no, I can't. That's minutes of my life I can't get back.
When was the last time you were on this attraction before we did it?
Single digits for me. Like somewhere between 1990 and 1995.
Yeah, mine was 1997 on my first trip.
That's because you had to do it, right?
Right.
Now, ironically, I do remember this being a little longer when I was a kid, but maybe it's because I thought it was torturous and it wouldn't shock me. Especially if there were more people like in front of me that were slowing me down, I would absolutely find this to be torturous. So
yeah,
I there's a little bit of that. There is no saving this.
No.
There is no need for it. And it does absolutely 100% need to go. So I think we've about covered it. Don't waste your time, guys. Yeah. There you go. Something that you should, however, waste your time on. We are going to go ahead and make a recommendation and a very quick review. This is something we never did. Okay, never have we done this. We are recommending a snack at Magic Kingdom, like all the other food blog people and all of the other influencers on TikTok and whatever.
We are really late to the game on this one, though.
Absolutely we are. I don't care. I don't care. I fought it for years, and I finally gave in. And you know what? I'm glad we did. We stopped at the spring rolls cart that's right in front of Adventureland. And you know what? God damn, it's delicious. I can't believe it. I wouldn't have thought that a pepperoni pizza spring roll was delicious. But oh my God, that was wonderful. So wonderful, in fact, that we have gone back to Magic Kingdom for a second time and actually had them for dinner.
Yep, that was... Well, you had the pepperoni pizza. I had the cheeseburger, which, I mean, to the point where I broke out the unofficial Disney Parks cookbook that I have and found out that there is a recipe for both the cheeseburger and pepperoni pizza spring rolls in that cookbook.
That's wild.
So now I will be making those because I've been like craving them ever since we had them that first time. I started craving them.
I think they sprinkled in some cocaine.
They may have. They
might have been like instead of MSG or something, you know.
So again, we are late to the game on this one. Because the earliest mention that I could find of like when these spring rolls came out was like 2015.
So it's been out for a decade. Way to go, us.
Super late to this game. But if you are like us and have also not tried the cheeseburger spring rolls or the pepperoni pizza spring rolls, we are highly recommending those.
You know, it's not that I'm, how do I put this? I kind of zig when others zag, I would say. As a content person, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
While everybody else is going, oh, this is the happiest place on earth. I'm like, fuck you. This place sucks. That's kind of what the essence of the show is, isn't it? Like
a little bit.
So, you know, I fought like against all these snack people for the longest time because I can't stand the snack people on YouTube or on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. Like, stop telling me to spend my money is generally speaking how I feel about it. So that's why when I say something like, hey, this shit was worth the $10, it's worth the $10.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
You get two spring rolls for like $9.50. And you can mix and match. You can do 2 pepperoni, 2 cheeseburger, or 1 of each. But yeah, they are definitely worth it. If you happen to be on our Instagram page on May 26th, you would have seen that I posted a story. I actually posted to social media.
Look at you.
About the spring rolls.
First time in 6 months or some shit.
Look at that.
Jesus. Gotta love our social media manager over here, Amanda.
I'm trying to get better, I promise.
You better. Anyway, okay. Let's move on to the news because there seems to be a lot of it here. We missed a couple of days for summer and everything like that. And I kind of want to cover a few different things here. First up, Tokyo Disneyland is apparently in a bidding war for US influencers because they are just throwing trip after free trip after free trip to get US influencers to go to these parks and tell you how awesome these parks are. So that you go there instead of going to Florida. And I got to be honest with you, it's a good call on their part.
Yeah.
They have a huge new Fantasy Springs area that's opening up. If you like all the intellectual property bullshit, well, you're going to fucking love Fantasy Springs over at Tokyo Disneyland. I am just stunned by that. And I also am stunned because it's not that much more to go to Japan for some of y'all.
Especially if you're on the West Coast already.
Like, or even maybe the Midwest. Like, Steve, Pat, Becky, y'all might want to consider going there. Because when you do the math on some of this stuff, it does come out to be close enough. Just close enough. So, I like, good call on their part. I think that speaks to a couple different things here. One, that the Disney World vacation has gotten so ridiculously expensive that like Tokyo thinks it's even got a shot.
Yeah.
To pull from the US market like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Well, and to kind of tie in you know, some news that my dad and I talked about today, actually. You know, both of our families still live in Georgia. So my dad was telling me that he was seeing ads that were airing, you know, there for Disney and for Disney World. And it's talking about how they're lowering prices. We went to Magic Kingdom. We went to Magic Kingdom Memorial Day weekend. The Sunday, the day before Memorial Day. And it was empty. Like, wait times were ridiculously low. We managed in the span of like 2 hours to ride 3 rides.
Yeah. And
I'm not talking about like these little like carousel. No, we rode Big Thunder and Haunted Mansion and then the People Mover.
Yep. Pretty quick. And actually we threw in a fourth attraction that we will cover on an upcoming episode of the Cynics on Disney podcast as well. Don't want to spoil that one because that one could be a little bit fun. So, you know. Anyway, so yeah, we it's kind of light right now. Yeah. And to which I say thank God, okay? Because like there's only so much that I can take of the crowds and all that jazz. Like, but like also it's going to be bad for business. And you know what? Hilton put out a study here that said that travelers in 2024 are traveling. Like they asked what their purpose for their travel is, and the number one answer was relaxation. That does not speak to the Disney adult.
No.
It doesn't speak to the Disney goer, that's for sure.
No. I mean if you're someone like us who has gone plenty of times, then yeah, we could probably.
But we also go, like I said, our relationship with Disney World has changed as we moved down here. It is something that we can just kind of roll out of bed and say, sure, what the hell? Why not? Which is cool. Don't get me wrong. But for you guys, it's like, oh, we got to wake up and buy Genie Plus at midnight. And then I got to wake up again at 7:00 so I can start booking the lightning lanes. And then I can buy Genie or the, what's it called? The individual lightning lane or get in the virtual queue and do all this.
Yeah.
Like just the idea of it stresses me the fuck out.
It's not a relaxing. My mom, like, she got so sick and tired of Disney vacations because they weren't relaxing. Now Disney cruise vacations are relaxing, and she loves those.
Cesspool boat, sure.
But a Disney World vacation, it's not relaxing. You're, you know, for most people, because you're trying to make the most of it because you're not here all the time. You're up, you know, at the crack of dawn to rope drop, and you're trying to rope drop to close, you know, and all of this. And yeah, it's not a relaxing vacation.
Which I say, I totally understand why you would do such a thing. Also, I don't understand why you would do such a thing to yourself. Like, this is ridiculous. Like you should enjoy yourself. I tell people who do ask, and it's not as often since we don't live someplace where we don't travel to it as much. But when I do get asked, I always say build in a resort day and to make sure that you are taking that time to put your feet up and resting, because it's kind of hard on the body sometimes to go through all the heat and the humidity and all of that and not rest and do all the bullshit that you have to do.
And if you have small kids, heck, even if you don't have small kids, taking that midday break and going back to your resort to either nap or go to the pool.
If you're almost 40.
That's what I said. Even if you don't have young kids, do that. It gets hot down here. It's already starting.
Actually, a couple of weeks ago on the earnings call for the second fiscal quarter, Iger was asked if what the theme park business projection was, and he politically said, "We see it returning to the norm." To which everybody else goes, "Oh, so it's gonna be down like a lot this year because all the revenge travel bullshit is over with. All of the post-pandemic stuff is done, and we're tired of it."
Next year, Epic Universe is opening down here for Universal. And I know a lot of people are probably, especially if you're if you can only do like one or the other, a lot of people are probably saving up for when that opens.
Yeah. And they should.
That's supposed to be next summer.
I think that they should, to be honest with you.
That looks like it's going to be really cool, by the way.
Yes, it does. I don't blame anybody for wanting to go take a look at Universal. In fact, I encourage it. You know why? It's good to get outside the bubble and understand there is more to life and more to Orlando and more to Florida than Disney World. Because you know what? As batshit crazy as this state is, there is a lot of cool stuff down here.
Yeah.
There really is a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I encourage that anyway. But also, like, for all the bitching and moaning that we do as a fan base, I guess you could say, you need a comparison point. You can't just say, "Oh, back in the day," because there's a lot of nostalgia goggles going on there with that. You really do have to compare it to something that's in the moment. And I think that Universal is genuinely poised to compete. The way that you described the original theme park, like, no, that's just not my thing.
No, it's as Universal stands right now, without Epic Universe, it wouldn't necessarily be a top contender for Disney. But
it is compared to.
But you know what I mean? Like, in Central Florida, it is. There's nothing else close enough.
Dinosaur World off of I-4.
Gatorland.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Legoland.
Hundreds of man-eating humans.
By the way, hey, we have more than just, in case you didn't realize, we have more than just Disney and Universal and SeaWorld. We have Gatorland and Dinoland and Legoland.
All true. We also have the Kennedy Space Center International Drive, Cocoa Beach. The city of Tampa is not too far away. Like I said, there's a lot to see. But yeah, you can avoid Dinosaur World. That'd be something you can skip. So you know, but I'm just saying, for a comparison point, I think Epic Universe is going to actually match.
I think it is too. I think this is going to be the actual competition for Disney.
So, also, what was something that was said during that earnings call, according to Bob Iger, and I don't want to misquote him here, so let me get the. I wish I had reader glasses at this point, but he was asked the question with regards to intellectual properties and how they are going to really lean into IPs from their content wheel while developing attractions and lands for the theme parks. Specifically, he said, noting that the future of theme parks is not in original storytelling, but the mining of intellectual property, and it's been that way for a while. No shit. Quote unquote, if you analyze carefully how we achieve those returns on invested capital in the parks, it was all about the IPs. So for quite a long time, new attractions and lands at the parks were based essentially either very old intellectual property or no intellectual property. Just an attraction. God forbid that's
just an attraction.
Yes. Tell that to Joe Rohde and Expedition Everest, but whatever. Starting really with Cars Land and Toy Story and a few others. Can't remember all the specifics. Okay, old man. We decided that almost all of our investment in the parks in terms of attractions and lands would be using that IP, and it's very, very clear what that delivered. Yeah, it is. It's delivered a bag of bullshit, Bob. That's exactly what it's developed.
It's one thing to use IP if it goes like organically with wherever you're putting the attraction.
Yeah.
But if you've got to like force it in there. Oh, and going back to the just an attraction quote, I'm sorry. Isn't there a big following of Figment now? Like, doesn't Figment have his own thing? Wasn't that just an attraction?
Yeah.
It's not based on IP.
In fact, it's very specifically not.
And it is still, to this day, like, Figment has a huge... In fact, I would say Figment's following's bigger now. I mean, there's certainly more merchandise out there. There's certainly, the meet and greet that's going on with the terrifying looking Figment.
Yeah. Make no mistake, it is terrifying.
But even things like Orange Bird, which doesn't have an attraction at all, it was a character developed for the orange juice companies down here.
Yep.
The 70s. But now Orange Bird has this huge following. But, let's ignore all of that and just, because we have to have IPs. I'm sorry that California doesn't have any original characters like this.
I don't care if they do or they don't.
No, like I feel like he's basing it off of like what's going on out in Anaheim, because that's where he is.
I don't think that's the case. I genuinely think that he just does not know how to be original, because he said it himself. Starting with Cars Land or Toy Story, I can't remember all the details. Yeah, of course he can't remember all the details. Why? Because if he could remember all the details, it would have been like, original and different. And when they're not original and different, they all tend to run together.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. Sometimes I can't distinguish one Toy Story from another. I certainly can't do that with Cars or any of the other bullshit that's been released. So I don't know what else to really say about it that I haven't already said. I don't like this. I fucking hate every single bit of this. But like, it's the intellectual shrinkage that's going on. It's not good. It really isn't. You should be able to come up with an attraction that has nothing to do with anything that you have in a fucking movie.
Right. Oh no. I completely and 100% agree with you on this.
I know. And I'm sure that many of the people who have listened this much or listen to us on a consistent basis do agree. Mm-hmm. Comment down below. Why are you listening to us right now if you don't also is it because I'm hilarious or just really, really good looking? That's what I would like to know. Oh, just saying. Anyway, so I look, Bob, but just cut it out. Or at the very least, you know what? It's time for new leadership. I've been saying it for a long time. The flywheel doesn't get re-energized unless you are putting something original out there, and you're not putting anything original out in the theme park, or in the movie studios with any sort of success. There has been a couple of movies that have made 500 million. 500 million is not what it used to be.
No.
It's not in terms of, not at all. Not in terms of the movie business anyway. 500,000 is like middling, especially for a studio like Disney, where, you had how many fucking Marvel movies make $1 billion back to back to back?
Yep.
So not for nothing. I don't feel like there's a grasp on reality.
There's not a grasp on reality. There hasn't been a grasp on reality. with the Disney leadership for a while now.
Now, I realize the irony of that statement, considering, every single person who's going to a Disney park is going for some sort of escapism from reality.
But are we really escaping reality at Disney World now?
Not anymore, because
much as we have to be on our phones.
And not only that, they're not doing a really great job of making me feel immersed.
Right.
The closest thing, by the way, I'm not saying that all IP attractions are bad. Let's reiterate this. Rise of the Resistance is a great attraction. It's awesome. I liked it better when it was called 5 different other things that they kind of like tossed a salad of to make into Rise of the Resistance, but it's still fun,
Yeah.
And I hate the new Star Wars movies. I hate the new Star Wars movies, guys.
I think we're aware.
Like a lot, and yet here I am. I will say it every time. It's a fun attraction.
It is a fun attraction.
So it's not that intellectual property is exclusively bad. It's that all of the movies that they've made here recently suck. And that's, if you're going to rely on those to give me attractions, like, I'm sorry. No, thank you. Give me something different. That's why I am the way that I am with it. Also, Moana, as we've covered here recently, that's not the answer to every goddamn attraction.
No, it's not. Just like how, however many years ago Frozen came out. Wasn't the
That's
answer
not the
then
answer either. But hey, by 2027, when we finally break dirt on some of these projects that they keep saying they're going to happen, maybe Frozen 7 will have come out by then, and then it'll be a reinvigorated franchise, right? Yeah?
Nah, I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Speaking of things that I hope aren't reinvigorated and go away, I don't know who JoJo Siwa is.
Oh my god, this girl.
You're going to have to explain this to me.
Okay.
Who the fuck is this woman?
So, did you ever hear about the show Dance Moms that was on like TLC?
No.
Okay. Basically, this show aired in like the early to mid 2000s.
I'm sorry.
And it was.
Can you just confirm something for me real quick?
Uh-huh.
TLC stands for what?
It stands for the Learning Channel. Nothing on there.
We had a show. We had a show.
Yeah.
Called Dance Moms.
Right. It was not educational. Unless you wanted to be educated in, how mean people are to kids.
I mean, I could have predicted that they were mean to kids, but sure.
Anyway, basically, it was a show about this dance studio in Pennsylvania that was pretty well known in the dance world, and they did a lot of competitions, and they had a lot of winners and all this stuff. And it followed this one specific group of girls, like in the competition dance team, and all of that drama. So that was fun. JoJo was one of the what?
There was drama?
Oh my god, I know, right? Who would have thought?
What?
So much drama. So much drama. Anyway, befuddled. JoJo, her last name is Siwa, by the way, joined the show. I forget what year, but she was like, I think like 8 or 9 when she joined. And yeah.
Okay, so she was on a shitty reality show.
She was on a reality show. Then she kind of broke out of that and kind of like she did some stuff with Nickelodeon.
Well, that didn't fuck her up according to the documentaries that are coming out.
No, she didn't do like any like shows or anything with them. But like she got into music, she got into singing. And did a bunch of that. And she was all about like wearing bright colors, and she would wear like these big, huge bows in her hair.
And now she's a Kiss fan?
And she doesn't know who Kiss is. Like, this is the thing with her. Like, everybody is so mad at her right now because she's just like, she keeps, like, she did that whole look inspired by Kiss, and like somebody brought it up and she had no clue who they were. She keeps making comments that she keeps like putting her foot in her mouth. Like she made the comment how she wants to start this new genre of music called gay pop, to where everybody was like Elton John, Queen, like started like listing like all these other artists that have
Melissa
done
Etheridge.
that. Yeah, Melissa Etheridge. Just like all these other artists that have already done that. But
Lance Bass. Okay.
I mean, and then then there was this issue with her new song, and how she sort of kind of claimed that it was like she wrote it, and then people were like, no, you didn't, and found like the person who actually wrote it and originally recorded it. And so she kind of had to backtrack on that. And she's also apparently, according to her, the only person of her generation that has had a major like shift in her and like change in her persona and everything.
Okay.
Like she legit seems to think she is the only one to ever do anything.
Well, that's just young people, and I don't like them. So, I guess I don't like her either. But she apparently, for her 21st birthday, as is tradition in the state of Florida, went to Epcot and drank around the world. And I guess it didn't go all that well. She kind of got a little bit rowdy, and
she's
whatever.
Rowdy, and she's like that. Like her normal personality is like loud and a bit rambunctious anyway.
Oh, so
they just threw
tequila,
alcohol on that, and yeah, it was kind of a mess.
No, again, just not my jam. I guess good for her for indulging, and welcome to Florida, JoJo. But damn, girl, there's no need to be wearing that kind of makeup in this heat. None whatsoever. That's what I'm most judgmental about, by the way, on this. This is ridiculous that she would be wearing any kind of war paint like that. And that's what it looked like. She looked like she was trying to dress up in Braveheart.
Yeah, that the Kiss inspired makeup, is that what you're talking?
Yeah, that's it.
She did that because like her new music video or whatever, that's the kind of makeup she's wearing in that music video. And again, she said she didn't know who Kiss was.
Well, she can dress up like Ace Frehley all she wants to. I don't genuinely care. But what I do care about is finding a way to get around Disney Springs. And I think that we're going to have to figure out something new, because we have not seen this ourselves, for good reason, though, because it's fucking crowded. The new drone show over at Disney Springs apparently is just the most popular thing ever to have come out. Photos came out from the Saturday show or Friday show, I believe. Friday,
debut,
yeah, the 24th, I believe that it was. That that showed people just packed, just like sardines. And like the thing is, we were there the week before to buy mom the Christmas gift, Mother's Day gift, and like the one that's gone the most viral is right out in front of that Bowie's candle shop.
Yeah.
So having just been there and felt like super like
that's already with the new restaurant that's right across, that's already like a really narrow path anyway.
I couldn't imagine being there.
I couldn't either. I don't want to. Like my anxiety goes up just thinking about it.
Well, then this brings up the next question. Does this now make Saratoga Springs a must-do resort?
Ooh. That is a good question.
I think it eliminates all of the good hotel resorts because I've seen photos from like the jury and it's backwards.
It's all backwards. You can see it from the jury. It's just backwards.
Which is very funny to me. This is one of those. We have Disney drone shows at home. That's what this reminds me of.
I wonder what it's like from the Four Seasons.
No way you can see it. No way you can see it.
You don't think?
Nah.
Okay.
Because you got to be real.
Yeah, that one is pretty far. Yeah, you're right. That one.
And you might be able to see. I don't think I take that back. You might be able to see some lights in the distance, but you're not going to be able to make out what the hell it is. So basically, this is hey, if you want to not be in this crowd, you have to stay at this Disney resort over here. You gotta stay at Saratoga. Apparently.
That is something to maybe look into, like what the view of that is like from Saratoga.
I bet it's gorgeous. I'm not fucking doing it. But that's because the last time that we stayed there, it was not great. I mean, also to be fair to the situation, it was during the pandemic right before we moved down here. And like we couldn't do the mobile check-in because the fucking door lock wouldn't work. Yeah, it was not a great situation.
There's a podcast episode you can go back and listen to.
There's definitely a Notcast. I don't know if there was a podcast.
No, I believe we did a podcast. Well,
you're gonna have to look it up because I don't know which one it is. But
I can look that up.
Anyway, point being, it's not my cup of tea over there, so I don't think that that's going to be the case. But I mean. Also, I could see like Disney fans going, you know what? Saratoga's pretty cheap on cash and points. Maybe I'd check that out next time. None of us at Not Club 33 will do that, but there's plenty of Disney fans out there that will absolutely do that shit. So if you're a owner over at Saratoga, maybe put your points on the market this year. You never know. Just throwing it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we didn't. It's not popping up. Okay.
We're on social media, are we not?
We are on social media.
Where might we be found on social media?
You can find us on Facebook and that site formerly known as Twitter at Cynical Disney. And you can find us everywhere else. So that's Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Pinterest. I think that's everything. At Cynics on Disney.
Yes, and of course this podcast video cast is sponsored by NotClub33.com. Make sure that you check out NotClub33.com for all of your latest and greatest updates, including but not limited to the Notcast, which will be released sporadically during the summer. Let's call it that. Due to our summer travel schedule. We'll try to fill in the gaps a little bit here for the site when it comes to content, but it's all up to the editing. And you know what? Steve deserves a break. So I don't want to hear it if shit doesn't post on a Monday. Okay, just let it go. While you guys are at it, make sure that you are subscribed to this here channel on YouTube or whatever podcast platform that you are listening to this show on. Make sure that you are leaving us a comment or a review of some kind. Make it a little bit wordy. I like those. And I love that you guys are commenting more on these videos. So please keep doing it. I tried to respond to every one of them with the exception of the gentleman who suggested that I forgot about Moana being over at the Polynesian. No, sir, I did not. I just didn't. I knew it was already happening. Why speak of something so ridiculous when it's already coming to fruition? That's why. I wanted to come up with a sandcastle. That's what I wanted. So I don't know why I went down that path. Anyway, so make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. It helps get us out there in the algorithm a lot more, exposing us to more listeners. And especially now that we are on video, you do not want me exposing myself in any other way. Until next time, you guys, thank you so much again for listening and have yourselves a magical fucking day.